What's up, everybody? We are back. Excited to be here. I think we took last week off, but we're here to review some wedding films that you all submitted to us, and we are open for submissions. So go ahead and get those wedding films submitted over at weddingfilm.school in the live review tab. And I am joined today, of course, by Jay. Jay, how's it going?
What's up, dude?
How are you? We did take last week off, right? Am I
Yes,
that?
we did. We did take last week off because we were just too busy with all the
life
wedding
and
filmmaking
things
that we do.
I think my camera's a little overexposed, but my bad.
I think it looks great. I think it looks great.
Okay, perfect.
I think that actually hold on, we're a little loud. Let me turn this down a little bit. Last week we were, I believe, your computer had exploded?
Oh, yes. My computer, the logic board died. It was a whole thing. I had a bunch of deadlines. I had to buy a new computer. Life hack, guys. If your computer dies and they need to fix it, Apple at least, they're pretty quick with it. But I had deadlines, like I said. Do you know, Jay, that they have a 14-day, essentially no questions asked return policy?
Yes.
I didn't, so I basically just rented a computer for free for 2 weeks, and it worked out great. I got to try out the new M3 Max or whatever. It's a good time.
And now you know it's the best thing ever.
And now I know that I was like, they almost got me. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, should I just keep this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
So yeah, I couldn't be here, and we just canceled the whole thing. Now I remember. I've tried to put that out of my memory.
No, just be content with what you have, which is a great show today.
Exactly. It is a great show, and it's a special show because this week's live stream is brought to you all by our friends over at Tamron. You've seen them on our channel before. I am personally using some Tamron lenses on the wedding day at wedding shoots and commercial shoots and everything like that. They are creating some just awesome quality lenses, but incredibly affordable. I don't know which is more important, but I love both aspects there. Jay, I don't know if you've been using them as well. I know in my bag, I have the 28-75. It's just out of reach, but it's right there. I can see it. That's been on, honestly, for weddings for me, like that's been on my camera body a good chunk of the day. And then right now I'm filming on the 35-150. I did a whole video about this, about shooting basically an entire day on the 35-150 f2 to 2.8. So yeah, just some awesome lenses. Many thanks to them for sponsoring this week's live show. We have some fun, exciting, upcoming stuff with them as well. You can check out a bunch of the lenses that we use of theirs and recommend in that gear kit down below in the description.
This is honestly like, it's funny, like people make a lot of assumptions about any sponsor at anything on a YouTube channel. This is not our primary source of income, believe it or not, world. With our whole
shocking, I know,
2,000 views from time to time. But no, we met these guys at a show, and I'm not gonna lie, I had biases against, because I come from the Canon world and we would only use our L lenses. I remember picking up the lenses and I was like, dang, this is legit. Yeah. This is legit. And then the couple cool focal lengths came out and I was like, this is sweet. This is sweet. So I'm excited to have them on board from time to time this year, and also excited and a little jealous for the Sony shooters. They get to use a lot of these. Sony, and who else? They make for Fuji as well.
Fuji.
And something else. But they're great and really high quality, and I really love that crazy 35 to 150. That is so cool.
That's a thing. I mean, there's plenty of things that set them apart, but like there's really not something else like that, I feel like. Or maybe I'm out of the loop. Like I know Canon has their 24 to 105, but it's an f4.
Yeah, well no, they just released the 2.8.
Yeah,
but it's also like
f2 Canon did. Yeah.
Yes, that gigantic one.
Yeah.
So who do we got first?
Let me pull it up for you. I'm trying to respond to Rumen here. Rumen, you can go to this link if you want to submit. There you go. Up first, we have. Wait, am I on the right thing? Is it Goron?
Yes.
I think we're on the same one.
It ought to be.
GND Weddings.
Yes.
All right, so this is GND Weddings. This is coming to us from Austria. I love that. Whoa. Everything just expanded. Love that.
Yeah, I tried to make it actually readable.
Thank you. All right. So sunny day in Arlberg, Austria. 15-minute for the couple shoot. Classic. 2 shooters, Sony A7Rs, and a bunch of primes with a 3 to 5 minute film. And we've got, I think, Sabella Studios is in Carmen. Yeah, we've got you on this list as well today, so we'll be reviewing you. But up first, of course, Goran of GND Weddings. Like I said, and just a little review, guys, while Jay queues this up. The way we do this,
I believe this is only a 1-minute teaser, by the way.
Oh, well, in that case, we're going to watch the whole thing. Typically, what we do is we'll watch about 2-ish minutes of a film, unless you are a member, in which case we'll watch the full 5, 6 minutes, something like that. You can become a member by hitting the join button down below. I think it's this side. It might be this side. I don't know. Right next to subscribe.
Just anywhere.
Yeah, you know where it is. Starts at just $5 a month. Goes a long way to help support this channel and all of the free content that we're putting out there. And then afterwards, we're going to share some things that we love about the film, things that we think you're doing really well, and then a few things that we think are going to have the biggest impact to bring your next film up a level. So, with that in mind, we're ready to rock and roll.
I'm always a big fan of these classic feeling songs, by the way.
Yeah, I've never really used one, but like I want to.
It's the right thing for certain things. It just when it feels right, it feels right.
You know it. Yeah.
Oh, can it be that you're here with me? Let's start writing our own history. Let's take this road, oh, this winding, winding road. Let's just take the long way home. You've got me running in circles. I don't ever want to slow down. Let's just keep spinning, spinning, spinning. Just keep going around, going around. You've got me running in circles. I can't keep both feet on the ground. Let's just keep spinning, spinning, spinning. Just keep going around, going around.
I just want to. I know this is a short film, so I just want to stop. Yeah. So this is one thing I noted. Like, I love it when people don't overuse slow mo, because when they kick it in like this, it has such an impact. So like watch it when the slow mo kicks in. Right there. Just keep going around. That's good editing. Yeah. And then it goes back to 24. It's like,
yeah,
it's a good filmmaker.
Yeah.
So
like we've had Goran on.
Yeah. No, we have. I think this one is better. So I mean, it looks good. I mean, solid. It looks great. So let's talk about
teasers. So
Well, yes, for sure. But I'm actually harder on teasers because it's like
they have more of like a specific use case.
Well, and additionally too, it's like you don't have to put any bad shots in a teaser.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think one thing, I'll start with what I like is, I'm trying to think. There's one shot that I was like, that I think it was more of an editing mistake than including the shot mistake. But overall, they included all really solid shots. Everything looked really beautifully lit. I loved their choice of lenses throughout the film.
Yeah.
And I also felt like they really did a good job bringing me A, to the place, and B, like you could tell, they're kind of reserved, but also they like to have fun, and I got both vibes.
Yep.
And so that's
like classy, but
the song made it even better, because I think the song was classy, but it was casual.
Yeah.
And I think this is a tough vibe for a lot of people to nail, is like the rich people party vibe. They're not like party rockers and you can't do that with every wedding
until later in the night.
But it's also not like a stuck up stodgy vibe.
For sure.
And so I felt like, in terms of their creative choices, like they did a great job.
Yeah.
and it's really good. There's maybe a few small things, but I really like this as a teaser, especially for the wedding at hand.
Yeah, I would agree. One of the things that stands out to me, just because I think we just don't see it a lot, is like you mentioned the kind of lens choices. Like there was a variety of lenses used. A bunch. I think it was all primes, which of course look beautiful, and like I just sometimes we miss that in weddings. You know what I mean?
Lens choice is
I really
everything,
like
right?
seeing that too. Yeah, and it's hard on a wedding day sometimes. It's
If
so
only you had a
fast-paced.
Tamron 35 to 150.
Yeah, then there's no choice to be made. Click the link down in bio. To
That was slick, guys.
But yes, I like the variety. There were a couple really nice looking shots, and I also think like, some people, Jay, obviously you've shot in some snow, and I've shot in snow plenty. Shooting in snow is
I've
hard.
barely shot in snow actually in my whole life. Isn't that crazy? Like
that is crazy.
New Englanders just don't do it.
I respect that choice. Because here's the thing. I will say it didn't look like it was too cold, so that helps. Adding like that, like I've shot weddings like negative 20 degrees, and it's just you cannot be happy.
I've done commercial
cannot
work
be outside.
in that setting. A lot of commercial work where
Okay.
the camera's freezing to your hand.
Yeah, like I'm miserable, they're miserable.
That
the
didn't
bride
look-
wants
you're
to be
right.
in her dress, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That didn't look
and
that
exposure.
cold.
Yeah, and exposure can be really tough too.
Mhm.
So
I was I was going to mention
handled
that
really
actually.
well.
All the bounce from the snow,
Yeah,
they didn't screw that up.
yeah.
That was great.
She had the right dress for being in snow. You know those dresses that are like really reflective and shiny,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm glad she didn't have that. But yeah, so that was some stuff I loved about
It was dope. I loved it.
With that said, of course, any areas, Jay, where you could see some improvement or things you would have done differently?
So I'm going to show one thing, and this is just a thing that I notice on a lot of people's stuff, but when a person misses, in my opinion, like a little camera move because they just don't notice it, I gotta find it. But there's a little camera move in here where they're like right there, where they're starting to whip out. And I wish they would have not included that because I noticed
like
it.
you said, you only need the best in a teaser. You can be even more critical on yourself.
It's easy to miss those little seams in an edit. Do you know what those are
Yeah.
actually called? Edit points. That's what they're, at least in Final Cut, they call them edit points.
You thought you were just watching wedding films today, everybody, but you are getting an education.
So like they could have just T-shifted over the edit point a little bit, and I think you would have not seen that little move that wasn't on purpose. If it can't be on purpose. And then my opinion is this one little frame just doesn't work for me.
This one?
You don't need it. You don't need it.
Film grain.
Or use it maybe 2 or 3 other times. It just felt weird.
Yeah,
that
it needs to like serve
one
a
time.
purpose. It can't just be a one-off thing in my
Yeah,
opinion as well.
typical. But that's kind of it for me. Like I can't speak necessarily. You could argue that maybe it needs a little bit of sound from the day, a little more.
A little bit, yeah. But again,
But-
it's a teaser, it's like how yeah, I don't know.
That's just me not even knowing that, because maybe not. But
Yeah.
in terms of what I think could have made it a little stronger, even just like a boring, I now pronounce you man and wife, can sometimes
Oh yeah.
make these films feel a little more
A
alive.
little more complete or something, yeah.
But that was good. It was really good. Just 2 or 3 little things that I thought I would maybe tweak.
Yeah. So I have 3 things. One, and I'm gonna have you leave it on this frame right here. Actually, I'll just start with this one. I don't think the ring is in focus. I don't think we're moving here, are we, Jay?
The ring is kind of in focus.
Maybe we are moving.
It's a
bit. Can we
post
play it
move
again?
though. I think
Okay.
it looks like a post zoom to me.
That's before that. Yeah. Maybe it is. It might be my stream. I don't know, but make
It's
sure you nail and focus on that when you're gonna be that close.
I
looked to me
think-
like the front of the shoe was in focus.
I think it's just too small. I think that they should
Yeah.
zoom in more on the ring so you can
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
it a little better. But anyway,
Yeah. But that was a really minor thing. The other 2 things I was going to say, one, in the dancing, I like some of that dancing footage as is, but I think some of it would have been served to have a little bit of a light that you brought. because it's so colored. It's green and it's red, I believe, in both the shots.
Yeah, the feedback I would give towards that is you should have told them to turn off the green light. I think it's acceptable in this setting that maybe you don't light it because.
Yep. That's how I feel, except that if we're going to have these colors, these extreme color casts, I'd rather you just punch a light.
That's actually probably the biggest feedback I would give this person is like, I have one thing I say to people with lights. I say, listen, during the formal dances, can I have natural colors? During the party, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But during the formal dances, and I think every DJ I've ever spoken to has a fine reaction to that. And
I don't even have to ask for it that much anymore. It's pretty cool. They're I feel like it kind of word got around. You know what I mean? I'll be like, okay, and are you planning to use some lights? And he's like, yep, but don't worry, for the formal dances, I'll either turn them off or put them on white, whatever you want. And I'm like,
yeah. But if just having that conversation with the people you're working with is perfectly acceptable, and I think you should do that.
Yeah. The other thing that I would say, and this is just an opinion thing, I would say, okay, everybody starts with a drone shot, whatever. Doesn't have to be drone. I would have loved to see, I didn't really realize the location we were in until a little further. I think that hyperlapse that you did, right? Somewhere.
That's right there. No, it's pretty early.
Wait, is it the first? Oh, sorry. I was not looking at my screen because I was pinning the video.
Yeah, it's pretty early. It's not
gotcha. I'm good then.
I do think it could have been maybe a little better of a shot, but I'm not going to lie. I do think there's a better drone shot to be had in this location that we didn't get. So I would agree with you. But
I somewhat take mine back because I didn't see that first 2 shot. I didn't see actually that film overlay. I didn't see it until you pointed it out because I missed the first
yeah. And you would have said something about that.
Probably.
All right. Great film though. Really solid.
Thanks. Thank you for submitting Goron.
I would like to see some of their more story-driven work. I'll say that as a filmmaker. I feel like the last couple we've seen have had this same style, music video style, and maybe that's just the norm.
Might be the what they do in Austria.
Yeah, maybe it is, but I'd like to see them flex their storytelling chops a little bit, and I'm interested.
Well, and again, this is a
well, they got another one. Maybe we'll check out another one of the films if we don't get any more submissions, just for fun. So we got a newer filmmaker here. That I wanted to, Cameron Chibella with Chibella Studios.
And they're in chat. And they are a member.
Maybe they're not new. I think they're newer. I think I remember that they're a newer filmmaker.
Let's see. What do we see? Carmen from Chibella Studios.
If we're pronouncing it wrong, let us know. It looks like Chibella to me.
We probably are, because we pronounce it multiple ways. So, all right. So this is a snowy wedding. This is the theme today, snowy weddings in March. So this was actually, Jay, this was just 3 weeks ago about.
Love it.
Timeline was tight, but able to get what we needed. Happy with the private vows and speeches. Ceremony was going to be outside on the island, but due to weather, it had to be in a tented area. Feel pretty good about the story. Let's see. It feels like they need to work on the color grading. Only been filming since July.
Yeah, I love that.
So yeah, about half
congratulations that you have work. That's easier said than done, right?
Still currently shooting in a picture profile instead of log, and mostly auto white balance. And I will tell you, if it's worth anything, I still shoot with no picture. Well, I do PP off, but I don't shoot log. I don't feel the need to, although I have for certain things. To each their own. You can make a very good wedding film without log. And but auto white balance, I would respectfully ask you to learn how to not do that, because it will help you out a lot.
Yes, I'm especially this could either be a perfect situation for auto white balance or a horrible situation depending on the light.
Gotcha. Also, one last thing, because this is a specific ask. We have critiqued their use of titles and fonts before, but haven't offered suggestions on how to improve them. So let's see what we see here and make sure we offer the...
This one's good. The end.
Yeah, that one works. I would make it a little smaller. But
maybe, but it's a good font.
But that's because, as we all know here at Wedding Film School, the smaller the font,
maybe they don't want to,
the more you can charge.
Yeah, maybe they don't want people to think they're too expensive.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, this is the right font choice.
It looks great.
Maybe I'd do it a little different. I think that works, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of starting with a title, but I think the font, it looks nice. So let's watch. Are they a member?
Yes. So we'll watch 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, it's a 4-minute film. We'll do the whole
watch
thing.
the whole film.
Let's rock and roll.
The moment we matched, I felt a sense of anticipation. You sparked an interest in me that I couldn't stop thinking about.
Clean.
Marty.
That was Sunset
can't
Golden
believe
Hour
this
at
day
like
has
4
finally
p.m. probably.
So
Like 2
nervous.
p.m.
What else
Yeah.
is new? But I'm excited about what our special day will bring.
Being with you just always feels right. You're the person I want to annoy, act stupid with, to relax after a shitty day at work, to get brunch with, to lay in bed too long because we're listening to our bodies, to act
Carmen,
like I'm
what
paralyzed
cameras
with,
was this shot on?
and to get old and
Yeah.
angry with.
The moment I met you, I knew you were something special. I loved your confidence, the way you carried yourself. It felt like I had known you forever. I wouldn't want to do this life with anyone else but you, and I love being a daily part of yours. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. Marty, our love is truly once in a lifetime.
See the moon?
Spend a lifetime with you.
The moon was behind them. and
Welcome, friends
Was
and
it 2
family.
Canon R6s?
Today, we are gathered here to witness and celebrate the marriage of Heather and Martin.
This is 6,500 to 7,000 kelvins. Somewhere in there.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Congratulations, you may kiss your bride.
Where are you right now?
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren. I'm Heather's little sister. As many of you know, our mom passed away 14 years ago. I know that Mom is as proud of you as I am. I know that she is with you every single day, but especially today. My advice for the two of you: continue supporting each other's dreams, be each other's safe haven, love unconditionally, and laugh as loudly as you guys always have.
Is that audio recorded on that sleeve? I just want to know. You can
My guess
answer
is
it.
yes. But they will let us know, I assume. Is that from, what is that?
All right, good evening, everyone.
Whatever's
My
on
name is
mic there.
Ben, and I am Marty's best man.
Very roomy sounding.
Heather,
Yeah.
you are the perfect rock for Marty. For his life, for everything about him. It is visible that you two are best friends, and I couldn't want nothing more for my best friend to have. To the husband and wife, Marty and Heather, we love you. We wish you the best life on your future endeavors together. Congratulations. Love you both. Cheers.
Okay, let's talk about this one because I got some thoughts.
Yeah, let's do
Bobby,
it.
what did you think they did well?
Okay, right off the bat, again, taking this in the mindset of the framework of, okay, wait, actually, sorry. In the framework of this filmmaker's been shooting weddings for 8 months. They started in July. This was March, something like that. A small amount of time. We had a couple weeks ago, we had a filmmaker early in their career, and we were like, dude, for where you are, this is great. And I would say the same thing for this. Like,
Yeah.
this stuff takes time. You have to learn things. You have to make mistakes. You have to see lots of different scenarios and how to handle them. And but this is like super solid.
Yes.
You can tell that there's an understanding of when to be safe. There is an understanding of like some creative shots and some movement. So there's a lot of stuff that you don't see with a lot of new filmmakers, I guess, is like the biggest compliment that I would have.
Yeah, they got a lot of coverage too.
Yeah, a lot of coverage. You know, this is a film that I'm sure the couple will love, and I think it represents them pretty well. You know, there's story elements. You're using audio already. Like, granted, I think it could be done better in a couple different ways, and maybe we'll get to that. But like, there's a lot of stuff. This doesn't feel like somebody who's been shooting for 6 months. Let's put it that way.
No.
Yeah. What did you have things that you love, Jay? Specific things? I know mine was pretty broad.
Well, you know, and this is no shade, because it's tough when you're like watch wedding films all the time, because you're just like, yeah, this is a wedding film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a wedding film, and you know, kind of, but that's not actually a small thing, right? I would say this is a wedding film that almost looks like a very experienced person made it, with a few tells that I think they should clean up, like that. But in this sequence, but in general, I think they did, like, this person understands the assignment.
Yeah, that's
and I
a good
think
way to put it. Yeah,
that is that's to me the most important skill to get paid doing this, is knowing what the couple expects. And then I think a second skill to get the next level is, you know, obviously making great films. I think this person can make a film for a couple, and they deserve to get paid to do it. And I would say, like, anyone who hires them is not going to they're not going to regret it, just because some of the mistakes that we're going to point out are there. And I think that's not small. This is not look at all like a person who's been doing it since July. This person's been to YouTube University, and I can tell.
Maybe they've even been to wedding film school.
Yes, I can tell, and I would say good stuff, really good stuff. But
yeah,
there are some things that I'm just like, you shouldn't be doing this.
There are definitely some, like, I'm new to this things showing.
I'm going to point out two specific. I'm going to try to find some shots, but I think it's more of an overall like approach. One of the biggest things, when Bobby talks about intentionality, I'll say it this way: substantive content in your shots. You need, every shot in a wedding film should represent something, and it should have a meaning to it. It should have a purpose in the film. I know that seems like a lot of pressure, but it's doable. It is doable. You don't need shots like this in your wedding film. Who cares about that tea? No one. No one cares about. If you were to say to a couple, like, do you remember that tea? They don't know. This shot right here, that random lady, like, at least get close, right? But this right here,
you could do a real close on the glass or something.
This is a dirty table. Like, these are half drank glasses by guests. You'd never, like, you don't want to put that in there. Like, this is, no shade on this groom whatsoever, but like, if I was working with this groom, I would not show this shot.
Like waistline, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, the guy, he wants to look good on his wedding day. Like, you don't like zoom in on like parts of people that could come across as unflattering. And I think like this shot right there, it's undone. Like, just show it finishing. Like, everything in the film should have a goal of making this couple look great and feel great. And I think there's some stuff where you're just like, well, first he did this, then he did this, then he did this. And I don't think that's the way to go. And then the last thing I'm going to say is, to me, the story of this is not good.
Yeah, it confused me a little bit.
It's like they're in the middle of the film, and they're walking out of the ceremony.
240 something, 230, 250, whatever, around there. I was like, what in the world is going to be the last 2 minutes?
And then they have the toasts, and then it's just like this guy is talking, and at one point he's kind of stumbling over his words, and just, you don't need to include it. Just don't include things like that make people maybe not look the best. And I personally think you should have waited for this moment right here. Like, put it. I know you don't have to put it at the end. Like, don't
no. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the last shot.
But I will say this: in this film, I would have done that, because in this wedding day, this is like a simplistic wedding day. You need a natural exclamation point. That's what you're looking for when you're building your wedding film story, is like, how do I make this feel like it has a conclusion? I'm not sure what else you could have ended the film with but this, Bobby.
Yeah.
On this particular wedding day. So that's my three things: is get a little more intentionality with your shots. Don't include things that don't look flattering. And then, of course, I think the story just didn't really make a lot of sense. And there's a lot of little things throughout the film, like audio just randomly cutting off and things like that. But I think those are the three things I think have the biggest impact.
Okay, here's what I would say. So we talked about intentionality. I'm usually talking about it in shooting, but another thing that I talk about it in terms of is editing and the choice of what you choose to include. I'm trying to look through your submission here. Okay, so they got a 3 to 5 minute highlight film. This is 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I would 100% cut this down to 3:30. There is so much that can be cut out of this to make a more compelling film, and you have the room to do it. I would encourage you to do it. Because I don't know, Jay, if you paid attention to chat, but I saw that this film has not been delivered yet. So I think this is a better film with a little bit cut out of it.
I wonder why there's no getting ready footage of her.
Yeah, that's a question mark. And then
there's a little bit.
I'd echo Jay about the story structure. Like, to me, some of the where we went didn't necessarily make sense, but then also I feel like their letters or personal vows or whatever that they're saying right here on the bridge, those drag on a little bit, and then we close the film, and then we go to speeches, and the guy's speech was kind of whatever, and so I think there's room to condense some of that. There's also some shots you show everybody coming down the aisle. We don't need to see that. You show that entrance into the reception.
Oh, that time lapse was not nice.
A rough angle. We don't need to see that. Also, your positioning on the ceremony, maybe I'm totally wrong. It looks like you are where the groom is standing, basically. I don't know. I don't know if that was a hard place to shot, but you were dead center. It didn't look like a long lens. I would just be careful that you aren't in the way. And maybe I'm totally wrong on that.
Yeah, and the one color thing I forgot to say is this whole film needs saturation. Just a little bit. Like 10% more. But when I'm looking at these flowers and they look gray, I already can tell you and then also this needs to all be warmed up. It's blue.
My other two things are pretty small. One, I noticed this during I assume it's the best man speech. But I felt like I saw it other times. So I would have you comb through this film in its entirety. But there is a shot where the best man is speaking and your frame is off and I can see a frame under it. And it's on the left side. Your whole left side is exposed. It's like an exterior shot somewhere. Yeah, right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it happened somewhere else too. Because I remember being whoa, this is messing with my eyes. How, what is that over there? But now that I see it here, it was only
there. It is
right there. Yep.
There it is.
And it's that shot under it. And then the other thing that I would say,
it's so funny, Bobby. It's so funny how I'm sure this filmmaker watched this film 100 times.
Oh yeah.
And you become so blind to all this stuff, and then the second someone watches it one time, they see it.
Last year, maybe this is the year before, Grant Fitzgerald Films shot for me, and I sent him the film when it was done, or maybe he second shot with me. I don't remember what it was. And he was like, "Hey, just so you know, I can see the frame under." And I like could not. I was like, "What? I don't know what you're talking about." Like I'd seen that film so many times. Anyway, and then the last thing is I would question. So the approach to those vows or letters or whatever on the bridge. Did you have control of that situation? Because if you did, I would not use a bridge like that where you can't get a side angle. I think a side angle is really important in that situation.
Could definitely have gotten a side angle.
People. Maybe, but
look at the bridge.
Like the bridge. Okay, yeah. Whoa.
You could have shot foreground through those trees right there.
Yeah.
You could have shot from the other bridge right there, like a profile shot.
Yeah, so I think that needed a little more or better setup to get that third angle. I think that third angle is important because that's the connection of them both in frame, whereas we're really only seeing one of them. I know like the other one's there, but like we can't see her basically behind him. We can see him, but it's just his back behind her. Like it's, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. Hopefully it was helpful.
Yeah, I think this is, if you deliver this the way it is, I'm sure they're gonna love it. The only thing I would say that I noticed but don't know if it matters, just knowing couples like this and also watching the film, make sure that there aren't a bunch of special people to them that are not being included. Because I didn't notice hardly anyone, especially older folks or people in their family, during cocktail hour, any of those moments where you're like, you pretty much only have the people who are in the wedding in the film. And so that might not matter, but that's one thing to just think about.
Depends on the wedding.
Yeah, if there was a lot of family there, maybe replacing some of the weaker shots with shots of people that might be important to them, just so they can not come back to you and say, it was great, but you didn't put this person or this person. That happens. So anyway, who's next?
Sweet. Well, let's see. We have well, I'm gonna skip that fourth or the one that's in slot 5 there, Jay, because that is Goron is in there twice. Although I do believe it might be a different film.
It is a different film.
But we're gonna go to Adam Galwas, the Wedding Filmmakers. That is his company name.
Well, yeah, we've seen their stuff in the past.
High budget 3-day Indian wedding in London for a US based couple. Looks like just all positive stuff. All their wedding events took place indoors, mixed lighting, 6 events in 3 days, 2-person tea. Yeah, these things they get crazy. So we're going to look at that. I'm going to look at chat while we queue that up. So I haven't been there in a bit. Brandon got married.
Congratulations.
Can I share my own teaser? I edited but didn't shoot. I don't know how comfortable I feel like critiquing somebody's wedding when it's their wedding. That makes me uneasy. I don't know why. I don't know your thoughts, Jay. Also, I don't know if we have room for more right now because we had picked them before. But maybe next week. Let us think on it. Maybe next week. Hello from Singapore. Hello. Again from Singapore. We got 2 in here from Singapore. What's up?
Fly us out there. Bring us to a workshop. I don't know. I want to go to Singapore.
Thank you for submitting. If we've kind of like, if we've filled our slots for today, then next week we will kind of pull from what's been being submitted today, just so you guys all know. Awesome, Carmen. Thanks so much for like chatting with us while we're reviewing. That's super helpful for you to be here, and appreciate you being a member. I hope you found that all super helpful.
One thing I did want to let people know, drop in a video today at 4 on the channel. I would appreciate it if people would watch it. And here's what it is. And I sincerely mean this. This is a really cool plugin that if you don't, how many guys are using Film Convert? Probably most people. They have a new add-on.
Me.
They have a new add-on for this plugin called Halation. Yeah. And I really like it. And I think a lot of you guys should probably use it. I think it's totally worth the money. And
It's kind of just like an add-in, right? Because like
yeah,
now
it's an
it just
add-on
comes
to
with
the
it.
to the
Film
plugin.
Convert Nitrate or whatever is what it's called. And I don't know how you use it, Jay. You can do a bunch of color grading within it. I don't use it for that. They do have some like film stock LUTs as well, which I don't really use.
I've used it for color grading, but pretty much we just use it for adding grain. But we're definitely we're probably gonna add the halation to every one of our films this year.
Yeah, the halation is really cool. It's very subtle when it's done right, but it makes a big difference. And you know, it can kind of take a place of like shooting with a mist filter, right? Is that kind of the point that they're going for?
Well, so we talk about it in the video. Like obviously halation's not mist, but like or bloom that you get from a mist, but like it is a film effect.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll work, Brandon, just so you know. We purposely have it so it's people can't put links in the chat because otherwise it'd be like porn. So FYI.
Probably true.
So
yeah, I think anything that's a link just gets disabled.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe.
So, but no, I don't mind. Like, I don't know, maybe we'll do it. But regardless, yeah, it's a really cool plugin. So I encourage you to check out the video. And we have 10% off Film Convert for anybody who
Sweet. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Film Convert is worth it without halation. The grain emulation is it's the best. And there's a bunch of color grading and LUTs and stuff built in too. But now we have halation, and it's amazing.
Yep. Anyway, let's watch a film.
Let's do it. I already
Congratulations.
Right?
Love you both.
Whoop.
Cheers.
I don't know where this video is playing.
I was like, nothing's moving. What's happening?
Congratulations. That's the one we already watched. It's cool, man, watching people like that guy's barely been doing this at all, by the way. The last filmmaker we reviewed. And you got to admit, for how little people are doing it, I feel like people who are like doing it less than a year, to me, they're like where people were after 3 years.
I was going to say, that's like the film I would have made after like 5 years, 18 years ago or whatever.
Yes. Given we have some different advantages now, but
yeah, autofocus.
Well, in an entire market establishing the standards of what a good film is to copy
and education, and learn. Like wedding film school. Wow.
But it's really cool to see. I mean, it's cool to be part of the industry and watch people develop and grow and do better. So I love that. Anyway, this film looks cool, so let's watch it. Is this a member? No. All right. Let's see how long this film is. It's 4 minutes, so
we'll bounce around a little bit.
Today we gather in the heart of London, a city known for its rich history, diverse culture, and the perfect backdrop for a celebration of love.
You think they shot that, or you think that was stock?
I don't know. I don't see why they wouldn't have shot it, but it's cool. I don't really care. The conclusion is what I like.
That defies borders, spans time
Don't like
zones,
that.
and simply cannot fit on a map. This isn't just a wedding, it's a passport to life, sweeter than beignets and spicier than jambalaya. I'm so excited for y'all's next steps, for the home y'all build, the family y'all raise, and the dreams y'all crush. But just like a delicious gumbo, all of those things will need more than just the right ingredients. It will need pinches of purpose, spoonfuls of courage, extra patience, and a thick roux full of love, and then keep it all simmering.
I'm truly overjoyed to welcome you to our family, Jamie. Today marks not just the union of two individuals, but the merging of two families, two stories, two hearts that have found their perfect match. Jamie, I've always wanted a sister, and I can't be more excited to finally have one in you.
Jamie's loyalty as a friend doesn't hold a candle to the dedication she has to her love for Rajan. Love is worth fighting for, and I'm so elated to be here to celebrate this love story. To Mr. and Mrs. Pandit.
I know, Jamie, when you came into the life of Rajan, you really did balance him out. And if you can balance each other out through the ups and downs, you're gonna have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, but you just have to keep that balance there. You two are truly two pieces of a puzzle fit together perfectly. I really mean that.
marriages made in heaven, witnessed on earth. With that, it gives me an immense pleasure to pronounce Jamie and Rajan together as Mr. and Mrs. Pandit.
You both complement each other, and I wish you both lots of good luck and lifetime of togetherness. Have some babies and enjoy your big house.
Let your ambition grow taller than Big Ben and more winding than the Mississippi. Always savor the small moments like a pint in the London pub.
And
or
a spicy gumbo.
party in your New
And be
Orleans
like
kitchen.
this. And be like that. Be
Learn,
like this.
explore,
What is that,
get
alliteration?
lost, and find yourselves again. Let their laughter fuel your fire, their failures be your lessons, and their successes a reminder that anything is possible. The world is your char-grilled oyster.
Wow, that girl is hard on these food. That was crazy.
Sweet. Well, we didn't jump around. We watched the whole thing. But, Jay, I want to hear what you liked about it.
Everything outside looks incredible.
Yeah. Real pretty.
That is cool. The little hypers or time
Way
lapse
cool.
or whatever it actually is. I think that they understood the what was special about the event too, and tried to really show it in all its grandeur.
Yep.
I do think they could make it look more grand, but we'll talk about that.
Yes, we will.
But there's a lot of coverage, and yeah, I don't have a ton of anything it's interesting because I like the film and I think they did a lot of things right. I could tell that they were there a lot too, which is great.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing is when you see someone who's like, I shot 17 events, and you watch the film and you're like,
where were they?
I can't tell. That's the tricky part of any film like this is how do you jam in so much dense content? And I think they, for the most part, I got a really good sense of the weekend in a little 4-minute film. And I think that is who someone is, and especially multi-day. Singular days, I think you can be a little more flexible. Multi-day, you need a good sense of what happened. Maybe not necessarily chronologically, but definitely the couple should they paid for all of it. They should feel then we have this
needs
party
to be represented, and
they did a good job with that. And of course, even the showing a lot of people interacting and the vibe of the thing was also good. So there's a lot to like about it.
Yeah, I think my highest praise is the integration of so many events into what felt like a comprehensive film. And that's not easy to do.
Nope.
It's not easy to shoot that much. It's not easy to sort through that much footage. And it's not easy to make it all flow. And I think that was done really well. I also acknowledge, I think while lavish, it was a lot of very tight spaces. That's what it felt like to me. And I think that is tough. And it's not easy, and it makes your job, exponentially harder. And I think that they still came away with some great stuff. Obviously,
really good foreground. I meant to say that too. There's a lot of use of foreground.
Some really nice shots, and some also really, I think you said really good coverage for so much stuff to cover. That would be my highest praise, I would say. But
so
on the flip side.
This is just me saying stuff to someone who I think I think they could really level up. So I want to be a little hard on them because I think these are things that they can do.
They clearly know what they're doing, and I think there are a couple small changes that would really.
It's coverage choices that I think an approach to the day. So
I have two. I have one big thing and then one other.
You start.
Okay. tell me if I'm wrong. Wait, I'm going to start with my smaller one. One, we just saw, it was probably 30 seconds ago, the extent of the shots of the decor and the room of the reception. And it was very little, and there was nothing that wide. And I didn't feel like this place is decked out. The ceremony, not quite as decked out, but still very decked out. Beautiful, lavish, over the top. And I never felt a full sense of what the room and what the space was like.
No, and it could have been that they didn't have a wide enough lens, but I'm not sure.
Well, here's the flip side on that, Jay, because my other big critique is that I feel like a lot of the gimbal work is on a wide lens that they're trying to get these close shots with, and it doesn't make sense to me why they would do that when they clearly have a great sense of foreground. And like some of the, like, I don't think it's the ceremony. I think it's like the couch, and I know that's not what it's called. There's a shot like that's on a wide lens, which is fine.
Well, and you're not exposing it for the highlights on the uplighting, which you should.
There's like basically all that to say, there's a couple shots of people and a couple shots. Just play early. I'll point it out if I see it. A couple shots of people and a couple of like that's great for a wide. That's fine for a wide. That's good for a wide. We're gonna see it real. I'm just gonna wait until it's very close. Like that feels like a wide. This is a wide lens. I feel like this is a wide. Like that stuff is kind of off to me in this high end feel. I don't know why. Maybe that's just me.
No, I think
they had the wide lens. So where was it for the room shots?
Yeah, I think a bunch of things. The first thing is like, when you're in bad light, I feel like you don't know what white balance to pick. And I'm noticing like a lot of off skin tones and some unflattering
that was
situations.
Mentioned as like their one self-critique, or maybe not their only, but like something that stood out to themselves. They were
but it's all tweakable. Like just fix it. Like just fix it in post. Like you don't need, it's not so off that you couldn't tweak it. The other thing is like, this is my, okay, this sequence right here, because I've seen a lot of people work with these ballet dancers. That's like a thing in luxury weddings, right?
Yeah, I don't really get it, but
yeah, it's a thing though. And whenever I see it done super well, they'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna do a wide shot, right? Can you ballet dancers stand in the middle of the dance floor and like pose them and make it like a moment, like, and get that." Like really ham it up, and it looks like we kind of just have them there, and they're kind of just standing in between tables.
Jay, that like to properly capture a wedding like this, there are moments where you have to take an editorial approach.
Yes, you should be thinking about the edit too, and like I want this like. What I love about, we had Sculpting with Time on 2 weeks ago, and what I love about their films is I'm constantly asking myself, when did they get that? Like they might show the dancer, or right?
How.
And almost never show them throughout the film, and it's almost like
it'll be like a dancer on the dance floor with the room empty with a spotlight that's like coming from heaven.
Yeah, like you had that opportunity to you could have done that. That's how I would have shot that room. I would have walked in that room and been like, tell the planner in advance, get everyone on the same team, like let them know when the room clear is going to be. If you know about the dancers, and this is stuff that like I don't know if you knew this or you were told it or whatever. So let's just assume you could have. Yeah. Tell them, hey, I want to do a 10-minute room clear. Get them in the middle of the dance floor. I'm going to pose them. We're going to shoot a whole sequence around this entire event, this moment. And I'm going to kill this for you, wedding planner and couple. And so that, to me... But in general, I noticed like there was a lot of moments where I'm like, I felt like you were not in control. So like when she's walking down the aisle, the way that they choose to cover it, they didn't follow her in the room.
Yeah, you see her, the
like
back
right
of her dress-ish kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's whoever the shooter is like,
sorry.
Yeah, like I would have, like I'm assuming that curtain opened, right?
Yeah,
I would have been on that gimbal
wide.
real low. I would be like crab walking behind that girl, have her dress going through the smoke on an 18 mil. Like that's the shot, right? So I feel like there's just a few moments where it's not that you did it badly. It's that you didn't have you didn't say like this is a moment that I'm gonna get X
It's
shot.
like foresight.
Yes.
It's like planning. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like a level of planning for like luxury events are all about those planned moments where
Do you
this is
think,
like the
Jay,
killer moment.
Like one of the biggest suggestions, like I think about everything we said, and I would kind of land on saying I think that this filmmaker should go watch every film that Sculpting with Time has done. Don't emulate their style. They like Alex is a genius. Like stay to your style. You have a style and it works and I love it. But think about the control they are showing at appropriate times on the day, because I think that's what would really level up this filmmaker.
Yeah, that's it. Is like take those moments that can be extra special and make sure you nail them. And then just a small thing is when you're in a lot of like lighting environments where the light is really intense, which is another thing at luxury weddings where there's like lights all over the place at various brightnesses, just be cognizant of what's going to peek out in your camera sensor and try to not like, to me, a lot of this is overexposed. This dance floor right here, that's overexposed to me right there. To me. Like their skin isn't the natural tone. So that's it. So really good film though. I mean, this person, okay, you got that planner. This is a great wedding filmmaker.
Yeah. And like, I mean, even so, I know we talked a little while about things we'd change, but like, let's circle back to this is a very, very well done film. A very chaotic wedding to shoot, I would imagine.
Very
That's
challenging.
No shade to the couple or anything. Like it is what it is. That's the way it goes.
Yep.
And they did a great job.
I think they did a great
really,
job.
really solid film. And like they have the skills to be like, up there.
Oh yeah, they don't need
Like,
any more
check out
shooting
Sculpting,
skills.
Check out Ray Roman. Same idea. Like there is intentionality with every single shot, and I think they have the ability to get there too.
Well, you want to do one more while we're here?
While we're here.
And again, as a reminder, guys, today's live stream is brought to you by our very good friends over at Tamron. They make awesome lenses for wedding filmmakers, particularly if you are Fuji or Sony. Really, really, really cool. And we are so grateful for the partnership with Wedding Film School, and also legitimately love these lenses. They're awesome. We use them. So check them out if you would like some Tamron lenses.
Click the link down below, or if you're a little more curious about them, want some more information, you can find a couple videos on our channel already, and we'll have some stuff in the future with them as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do somebody new. Have we ever done Okra films?
Nope, they're in chat as well.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Alrighty.
Okay, what do they say about the film? They say,
Well, I gotta scroll all the way down.
this is my own wedding day. Oh, I don't.
What?
Oh.
We already said no to Brandon for that reason. So.
Yeah, I don't want to do that one.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry, dude. I'm not going to critique your wedding day. Your wedding day is great. That's how I feel about your wedding day.
Yeah, I just wait. No, that was Brandon's that said this is my own.
Oh, that was
you're
Brandon?
off by one. Okra is in the clear. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I was gonna say, what are the odds?
What are the odds? All right.
I have it highlighted here. Do you see where I am?
Yes.
Garden ceremony at the something.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right. So let me just get this one. Congratulations, though, Brandon. That's very cool.
We can't be in chat. We're too busy, Rumen. We're chatting with our mouths, not our typing. Sorry.
Come on, you. There it is. All right. And here we go.
Thanks for planning.
Well, let's back it up a little.
You look great.
Rumen, we'll try to do it next week.
You look great.
Not a fan of that.
We're right there.
Thanks for
goes.
I think I'll leave it for when I exchange my vows, but I cannot wait
Singapore,
to spend
right?
forever with you.
Wow, awesome.
You bring wonder.
I like that shot.
You bring holiday.
I like the way the song came in, too.
I like the logo. It's nice.
You are all I need. You are all
It's got some really pretty looking shots.
Yeah.
Dear Wally, I've never been more grateful to have crossed
That's
paths
smart.
with you 6 years ago. From that moment on, my life has changed in so many ways, as you showed me a love filled with joy, growth, patience, and understanding. Today, as I stand before you, I've never been more sure of anything else in my life. You're my safe space, my best friend, my voice of reason, and in time to come, my future baby daddy.
Whoa.
You are who I want to grow old with, and whether it be good or bad, you are who I want to take on all of life's adventures with. With this ring, I take you, Lim Zhi Zhong Walter, as my husband.
Thank you for saying it
This
for
day
me,
forward,
because I would not have been able to say that.
to love you,
I was out.
to support you, and to cherish you.
Whoa, that guy's
For
sweating,
better or
man.
worse,
That must have been hot.
Sickness and in health, for better or worse. I promise to always love you, to be by your side, and to spend the rest of my life with you.
You are
All right, let's move a little bit forward here.
Yeah.
Um,
A member, I believe. So
let's see. So we got a tea ceremony right here. You know what I like about this filmmaker's choices? They're taking these very casual,
Yeah.
this is like just normal. It's not like this super luxury thing. It's just beautiful people, normal people having a human moment. And they're taking these very human moments and they're shooting them in these like almost Wes Anderson flat
Yeah,
perspective
yeah.
ways, which makes it feel artfully done and intentional. I like
yeah,
what
it
they're
seems
doing.
Very intentional.
I like that. We don't need to watch it, but I like that. There's actually a lot of thinking going into this. That's cool. It's good storytelling. Like you show the guy shooting, you show it getting taped in, you show a finished one, like that. That's good storytelling. An acceptable non-kiss in a wedding film. Oh, it's so good looking. What are they doing there? Tea ceremony. If you've never done these, any weddings like this, which there's actually a lot of different tea ceremonies in various East Asian weddings, but it's totally interesting. Like, there's a lot of sitting.
Yeah, I've done a few.
Yep. All right, here we go. This is what I want to see.
Wish you through whatever life may bring us. Just like this ring, we are at a circle with no end. I give this ring to you as a symbol of everlasting love.
So-
life together based on infinite commitment and trust, kept in faith and forever sparkling new. Shi, I now marry you.
All right. Let's just keep this playing. What do you like
Yeah,
about
let's do
this
it.
one?
I think we kind of have touched on it throughout the film. One, just some really pretty looking shots.
Yeah, I love whatever they're using and keep using it.
I believe it's the Canon R6. I will tell you for sure. But yeah, just some really really pretty looking shots. Canon R6 Mark II. And the intentionality, like you said, there's a lot of like, I don't want to call them boring moments or boring scenes or boring settings, but they are elevating with their choices. They are elevating what is happening. That is sometimes very difficult to do.
Mhm.
It's also a very important part of being a wedding filmmaker. And they are doing it very well. And I love some of these you know me, I do not generally compliment the black and white. It feels unintentional, but something about these shots, some of them, they just felt nice.
I think it's what they chose to do. I mean, when this filmmaker has
It fit the vibe
something-
of the film.
when they have something that they really are inspired by, they're just creating some really beautiful images. The foreground throughout the film is like that voyeuristic kind of thing. Like, it's very interesting storytelling. Like including the part of the vow that they're saying
Yeah.
visually and then hearing it. Like, just a lot of like very mature choices when it comes to storytelling that I was just like, yeah, this is, because the day is like, it seems to, I'm scrolling around because I'm looking for like dance footage or nighttime, or it doesn't have any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like, it is what it is. So they made the film that they had to make. So I give them even more credit, because it looks to me like they pretty much had a tea ceremony, a little bit of getting ready, an actual wedding ceremony, and then like kind of maybe a portrait session, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they made a film, and that's pretty cool. Like, I think I would have liked to see what they can do with maybe a little bit more of a little more content.
Yeah, but it's a pretty complete film with a
It's a
you know,
lunch
a lack
wedding.
of plenty of things.
Tell me about the lunch wedding. We're here. So they don't dance or any of that stuff, which is fine. Like, nobody's wedding is all about that. The only thing I'll say to you is, in terms of improvement, a couple small things. I think like little moments like this, if you're gonna do like, I like the way you chose to shoot it. The frame is nice. I like the idea. If you're gonna take moments like this, at least crop it in post. Like to me, it's standing out so bad that it's not centered. And there's a couple little moments like that. Even the one that I complimented, the tea ceremony, which I like the way you shot it. They're off to the left a little bit. And I think like, you know, just like make those changes in post just to, so it doesn't stick out a little more. If you're going to have like this very, how do I say this? Like, their shooting style is almost, when they're cutting into their wide stuff, it feels almost clinical, but not in a boring. That's not the right word, because that sounds like boring.
Like, that becomes coverage almost.
Yeah, but it feels
intentionality.
designed, you know. But if it like, so when you take a shot that feels designed, and then it's not on exactly right, then it sticks out a lot. So I would say like your shooting style is really, really good, and you should do more of that. But maybe realize that now you got to nail it every time.
Yeah.
And so I think that was my only little thing that I would give you. And then the last thing in terms of story is, I'm not sure I know why you did it, so I could see the argument for it, but I'm not sure I loved waiting till the very end of the video to hear from the groom again. And then also the starting with him, give it a little bit of handles at the beginning. It just starts way too abruptly, and you almost can't even hear what he's saying. So that's it.
Yep, my biggest things, and they're pretty small. I would start with this one at the very beginning. I just need a breath. Like we're thrown into this situation, and it's funny and it's lighthearted. So like it can be a little more abrupt, I feel like, but it's too abrupt for me. We're just nothing, and then we're in, and it's like almost, it's not even in at the beginning of a sentence. It's like halfway through a sentence is what it feels like. And I feel like there was a couple shots where I could see the focus hunting.
A little bit.
Not major, pretty small. And then, you know, plenty of stuff. I feel like the exposure was handled pretty well, but I feel like there was some stuff here and there where I was like, maybe we could dial back a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I kind of chalked it up to kind of their style.
It's kind of their look. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, take it for what it's worth.
I love their style, man. I love their style.
I agree. Yeah. I really like a lot of the framing, a lot of beautiful shots. And thank you for submitting and for being in chat.
I got to say this. When I did film critiques for WPPI, like, we would have a lot of the filmmakers coming out of like Japan and East Asia and maybe Hong Kong. And they just have like a totally different perspective that I just enjoy so much. Like,
yeah, it's cool. It's refreshing.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like I learned so much from watching these films and just their take on these moments, and I love it.
Ruben, it was the R6 Mark II. I don't know lenses though, but they did submit that camera body. Well, perfect, everybody. That brings us to the end of this live stream. Many thanks again to Tamron for sponsoring this week's show. We'll have some more from them in the future, and if you're interested in their lenses, you can check them out at the link below. the gear link, or you can watch some previous videos that we have made about their lenses. We will be back next week, I believe.
Yeah, and we're
keep an eye
dropping
out.
that halation video in a couple hours.
Yes. Halation video, check that out. We would love for you to watch it, like it. Watch
And for the
whole
people,
thing.
by the way, who are saying they submitted their films weeks ago, and things like that, we always encourage people to resubmit because it's just tough. We have a lot of
Submit weekly.
submissions, and so
We don't really.
if you haven't signed up for the mailing list,
back.
guys, head over to weddingfilm.school and sign up for our mailing list, and you will get an email alert telling people when submissions. Yeah, hey, submit your film. We will remind you. So if you forget, we'll remind you. Head over, sign up. And yeah, just thank you. We do apologize. We can't get to everyone's stuff, but it is what it is. So just keep trying if we don't get to your stuff.
Sweet. And show up and chat. We appreciate it. Lots of great conversation. Thank you to all who were in there. And we will see you next week at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. And keep an eye out for an email for submissions.
Yep. Bye, guys. Have a great
Bye.
day.
All right, cool.